Hey everybody, it's Dr. K, or Dr. Kareem Samori, and welcome back for another awesome exercise video clip. Today we're going to be talking about a 3-exercise giant set that you're going to be doing basically for 5 repetitions each. When it's both legs, you're going to be doing 5 on each leg, and you're going to complete all 5 repetitions for all 3 exercises within a 1-minute time period. Should you have leftover time, you get that remainder of time to rest. I want you to get faster and faster on every round for a total of 20 rounds. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you what we're up to. First and foremost, it's going to be squats with dumbbell presses. So you want to pick dumbbells that are of adequate weight that you can get through 5 repetitions, and you want to try and hit momentary muscular failure. For demonstration purposes with this video, I've lightened the load a little bit and I'm just using 15-pound dumbbells. However, there's a difference between the kind of squat and dumbbell press that I choose. First thing, let's go over squat mechanics. Feet about hip width apart or slightly wider. Most people are tight in their hips, so I want you to toe out if that's the case. So you're just going to turn your toes out slightly, make sure you're symmetrical on both sides. From here, you're just going to squat down and back, keeping your butt back as you squat, tummy tight on the way down, chest big, shoulders back. From here, squeeze your glutes and stand up. So that you've seen that from the side before we even add the dumbbells. Again, what I'm doing is standing hip width apart. If I can toe forward symmetrically and I don't feel like I'm bearing too much weight on the right or on the left, building an asymmetry, because remember, your nervous system is going to shut down your muscles if you build asymmetries. Then I can toe forward and be in toe neutral. From here, I simply sit down and back, tummy tight, keeping my knees behind my toes, not allowing them to advance forward, squeeze my cheeks, and come back up. Now, the press mechanics that are involved in a dumbbell squat and press are as follows. First of all, I'm not going to hike up my shoulder at any point during the press. So I'm going to sit down and back with my shoulder blades right here, squeezing my interscapular muscles that we talked about in the last video. From here, I'm going to raise my arms up. A lot of people are missing what's called thoracic extension, and that's bending backwards at your mid-vertebrae in your back. If that's the case, that determines your press height. So the moment where your shoulders start to hike up is as high as you get to go if you wrap your arms around. So if I'm pressing and I can keep my shoulders down the entire way up, then I can press to the top. If that's not the case, then I might only get to press to here and the dumbbells have to come back down. It's important to understand those press mechanics. Take a look from the front. Okay? If I'm pressing and my right shoulder starts to come up, that's the limit of my press. This is as far as I go. However, if I can get all the way to the top without ever hiking up my shoulders, then I have adequate thoracic extension. There's no increased strain to my lumbar back or low back, and I can tolerate putting weights overhead. And that's going to be important to understand when we get to the overhead reverse dumbbell lunges, which we're coming up to in a minute. So in a dumbbell squat and press, you can squat down and back, stand up, and then press, or you can do it as a power press. Now, if you do it as a power press, you're going to be lifting significantly more weight than if you're doing it as a squat then press. So I'm going to demonstrate squat then press, but remember, in a power press, it all goes through your legs, and arms go for the ride just through the momentum of your body and your lower extremities. So we're going to pick the dumbbells up. Let's say you've chosen a heavy weight and you can't just curl them up like this. Here's what you do. You actually go to curl as you sit down and back, and now you can stand up through your legs instead and the dumbbells are in place. If that's the case, again, that would just be like a driving squat and press where you're doing a power move and bursting through your lower extremities to get the desired effect. Now I'm going to show you how I'm intending for you to do this exercise. Elbows are going to stay kind of angled out to the side. This puts you in the scapular plane. From here I want you to squat down and back, stand up through the cheeks, tummy tight so that you don't arch your back. Press up, touch in the middle if you have the thoracic extension. Otherwise you're only coming to here. Back down. That would have been 1 repetition. We're going to 5 before we switch over to break dancers. Break dancers are an awesome way to dynamically work your core, spike your metabolism, and get a tremendous effect from your fat loss program. So let's talk about what they are. Mountain climbers would be a more elementary example of break dancers, where I'm just going back and forth like this, keeping myself in thoracic neutral, or in other words, not rounding my back and not dipping it, but keep it nice and flat. From here, switching knees back and forth, or switching my foot position back and forth. Back and forth equals 1, and we're going to be doing 5. But break dancers get a little bit more involved because they build in an element of rotation. This rotation takes place in your spine, it also takes place in your hips, and it engages a lot more of the true core stabilizers like your obliques in this exercise, which ultimately dictates a better effect when it comes to training your core and speaking neuro to your body to be able to enhance the fat loss effect from every workout to come from here on out. So in this situation, we're going to start in an opposite foot position. Again, get our shoulders into position, switch, switch. Now if you can speed up, that's great. Again, we're going for 5 repetitions. That's break dancers. Your third exercise that I want you to complete 5 reps of in this minute is going to be reverse lunges. So first things first, I'm just going to lunge down and back, and then the other side, okay? That would be 1 repetition. In your lunge, I want you if you haven't had a chance to see the perfect lunge video, please go ahead and check that out. It's actually a link at the bottom of this page. But I want you to lunge down and back, keeping your knee back behind your toes. You're not putting pressure in your back leg. It's only 30% of your weight. 70% stays in the front leg. Stand up through your glute. Same thing on the other side. Again, I'm keeping my trunk upright. I'm avoiding rotation. I'm standing through my front glute and my front heel. Now, when it comes time to actually building dumbbells, there's a couple of places where you can choose to hold the dumbbells. First thing is going to be dumbbells at your side. From here, it's just going to be the same lunge position back and forth. Next thing would be dumbbells at shoulder height. Same concept. Again, not hiking my shoulders, core's tight. The higher these dumbbells get, the more I have to contract my abs. We're not talking about like your rectus abdominis or six-pack muscle going like this. We're talking about your true core stabilizers, preventing you from twisting. That's a good way to think about it. Dumbbells up if you can. This would be reverse overhead lunges. Okay, so now dumbbells up, shoulders down, core tight to prevent backwards bending. Lunge, switch. Again, I'm going to go for a total of 5 repetitions of each leg. So it's going to be squats with dumbbell presses, break dancers, and then reverse overhead lunges if you can tolerate it. You're going to do 5 reps of each. Whatever leftover time you have, you get to rest the remainder up to a minute before you repeat it for round 2. Doing a total of 20 rounds, competing against yourself for speed on each and every round. I know you can do it, and it's time to go nuts.